Hang on one second, guys. All right, we are now being joined by Lara Joanne. Before we turn it over to the media, Lara, please tell us how camp's been going, and if you're looking forward to this fight, what exactly are you looking forward to?
Fala sobre seu camping, o que você tá.
Sem dúvida, 1 ano e meio, né? Já faz um tempo que eu me preparo para a luta, independente de adversária.
I'm feeling very excited for this fight. It's been a long time before I've had an opponent, since I've had an opponent.
E eu treinei para nocautear ou finalizar qualquer um, para decidir a luta.
And I've trained to knock out or submit whichever opponent is across the cage from me.
All right, apologies, guys. We're having some technical difficulties, so bear with us here 1 sec.
No.
All right, sorry for the technical difficulties there. We will now begin questions from the media. Steve, your line is now live. Steve, go ahead. All right, Empire Universe, go ahead.
Hey, Laura. Luke from Empire Universe. How are you?
Sim, tudo bem.
I'm fine.
That's great to hear. Obviously, your opponent has more experience on paper. Looking at this fight, are you looking at a calm or aggressive approach?
Eu vejo uma luta agressiva. Tanto eu quanto ela temos essa característica.
I'm expecting a very aggressive fight. I'm aggressive. She's aggressive. We're both aggressive.
Good luck on Friday.
All right, Jim.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Coach Eric. Curious, what does a victory mean to you? Where does it get you? What does it get you to next?
Então, eu estou muito feliz e agradecida porque com o ranking, né, o Bellator fez aí minha lista. Então, eu espero, talvez, Hanagai, que agora é ranqueada, e eu quero alguém ranqueado para entrar no lugar dela ou acima.
I'm very happy that Bellator has taken my idea of my hit list and made it top 10. I'd like the next step to be Hannah Guy, who's now ranked number 9. I'm going to keep on moving up my hit list.
And then lastly for me, Coach Eric, what can you say about her? You have no nonsense, tough fighters. How does she fit in with everyone that you have in the camp or in the group that you're with?
Thank you for the question, Jim. So Lara Joanne is one of the most talented and aggressive and one of the most sinister athletes at the gym. That's why I called her Arya Stark, because the way she finishes, the way I see she finishes people in her fights. So you can expect another exciting victory like the last one, and a huge upset in the mind of fans, but not in my mind. I think that Vanessa Porto's a legend. She's a pioneer. You know, she's fought the likes of Cyborg, Amanda Nunes, Maya, Carmouche. and it's going to be an honor to see Arya Stark scratch her off her hit list.
Gabriel?
Hello, Eliara. I have two questions. The first one, how much easier was it to not have to do the travel all the way to Japan for this fight? You obviously get to stay in the States, close to where you work with Coach Eric.
So, fala sobre.
Então, é uma vantagem, né, enorme para mim essa questão da viagem, de ser muito cansativa para o Japão, do fuso horário ser bastante diferente lá do Brasil. Eu acredito que aqui eu tenho mais energia.
Yes, I feel like it's a big advantage now that I didn't have to travel all the way to Japan and have such a tough jet lag. And now I feel, for this fight, I feel a lot better.
My second question for both of you, Coach Eric, I love the shirt. Can you ask if Iliara is Arya Stark, which character from Game of Thrones are you?
Well, this give a shout out to the king of bling, Philip Pline. I'm a big fan. And ele falou que ele é um fã de Game of Thrones e ele quer saber se você é Arya Stark. Quem sou eu?
I don't know.
Eu não sei. Eu teria.
De quem tu é fã? Esse é fã.
I'm a big fan of Tyrion Lannister.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'm a big fan of Tyrion Lannister and Littlefinger.
All right, Ed?
Hi, just one question for Ilara. A lot, people keep mentioning the experience disparity between the two of you. I'm just wondering if when you signed the contract for this fight, if what your initial reaction was, and if there's anywhere that you feel that fans or anyone else that keeps asking about it is kind of like underrating your skill.
Can you repeat that question a little bit better?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I was just wondering what her reaction was to folks kind of making a point about the experience difference between her and her opponent, and if she feels that there's any strengths she has that folks aren't recognizing.
Então, realmente o que todo mundo está falando é que ela é mais experiente do que eu. Porém, para mim isso não muda nada. Eu também tenho muitas lutas e acredito que o lutador também se faz na sua equipe e com seus treinos. E eu acredito que eu treinei mais duro, estou mais forte, estou mais rápida e vou ganhar.
So everybody talks about how much experience she is than me, but you know what? I have a lot of fights, and I come from the Pitbull Brothers, and where I believe in my training, I believe in how much I evolved, and I believe I'm going to win.
Steve?
Hi, Lara. It's Steve from MMA Lowdown. I just wanted to ask, so say you win this fight against a tough opponent in Vanessa Porto, you're going to be in the talks of the top 10 of the division. What is it about having a guy that intrigues you the most, considering she's just broke into the division?
Okay, fala sobre Hannah.
Então, na verdade é estratégia mesmo. Eu quero entrar no ranking, ficar bem ranqueada e eu acredito que uma vitória sobre ela faria isso por mim.
Yeah, so I'm trying to enter the top 10, go down my list, and it would be she's in the top 10, and it'd be a great experience for me. Yeah, it'll be good for me.
Thank you. Best of luck.
All right, Santiago.
Boa tarde, Lara. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time.
Who more to do?
This fight between you and Vanessa kind of came out of on late notice. Is that the reason that this fight is at a catch weight 128 pound? And do you like this?
Ao contrário, foi ela que pediu o peso combinado. Ela aceitou de última hora e ela pediu para combinar o peso.
Yes, she accepted at the last minute, so she asked or requested to have a catch weight.
The flyweight title will be defended in July. How do you think the fight between Juliana Velasquez and Denise Kielholtz will go down?
A luta pelo título mundial vai ser contra Velasquez e Kielholtz do
Estou apostando na Juliana, eu a conheço e torço por ela nessa luta. Acredito que ela tem mais armas para vencer essa luta.
I'm cheering for Juliana Vasquez. I know her, and I think she has a lot more weapons in this fight against Denise Kielholtz from Amsterdam.
All right, we'll take two more here. Ronald?
This is Ronald E. Smith. My question is, we haven't seen Ilara fight since 2019, and since the whole pandemic, how has her training been, and how has she been able to keep her skills, tools, and sharp through that whole time through the pandemic?
We'll take two more here. Ronald?
Com minha equipe, Futebol Brothers, a melhor equipe do mundo.
Maintain training with my team, the number one team in the world, Pitbull Brothers.
All right, and our last question here comes from the line of Maria Morales. Go ahead, Maria.
Hi, Ilara. Maria Morales with Throwing Bows podcast. As you prepare for this fight, Porto is known to come out a little aggressive. Are you looking at some of the opponents like Liz Carmouche and Jennifer Maia that have already defeated her? Are you looking at their game plan at all and implying some of that into your plan going into the fight?
Com certeza. Desde que fechou a luta, eu venho estudando bastante as lutas dela e vou conseguir aplicar na luta. Vou conseguir fazer o que eu tenho planejado.
Definitely, I've watched her fights since I signed the contract, and I've studied her, and I'm gonna do exactly what I plan to do with this game plan.
All right, great. Thank you very much for the time, and good luck on Friday.
The recording has stopped.
Next up, we have Justin Gonzales.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, we are now being joined by Justin Gonzales. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Abraham, your line is now live.
Hey, Justin, I'm Abraham from the Fightly Report. I saw online you predicted a round 2 or round 3 TKO over Claxton. What makes you so confident, especially since he's a veteran of Bellator?
Man, if you saw the things I was doing in my camp, you saw the lifestyle I'm living, you'd know why I'm so confident as well.
All right, Luke.
Hey, Justin, Luke from Empire Universe again. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, brother. Good to hear from you.
So, I mean, looking at Tywan, what do you what's your opinion about Tywan, and how would it feel to get a big finish over a veteran like him?
Yo, Tywan's tough, man. Like I said in our interview, he's really good at what he does, man. He's gonna bring it. He's very explosive. He has some cool knockouts. It'd feel great to get a win over him. A win over him should put me in the rankings. Bellator, I'd like to be in the rankings, man. It just kind of puts a milestone in my career where I start climbing, and then it lets the rest of these guys in that ranking system, my hit list, lets them know who I am, lets them know I'm here and I'm for real. So it'd be huge. It'd be huge for me.
Good luck on Friday night.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Maria?
Hi, Justin. Maria Morales with Throwing Bows podcast. Coming into this, first off, welcome to Bellator. Coming into this and coming in with an undefeated record, as well as a spectacular finish of Jake Childers in your last LFA fight. What is more important to you? Maintaining that record and obviously, climbing in the standings, or just really making a statement in your first Bellator fight?
That's a good question. Tough question to answer, really. Both are very important. I mean, in this game, I want to fight tough opponents. I want to fight the best. In order to be the best, you got to beat the best. So along that journey, man, you might take some tumbles, but as long as you keep your mind right and come back stronger, you're growing. I have goals to be the best in the world and the best to ever do it, ever. So in order to do that, I want to fight these high-level guys. I've never fought a chump. I don't want to fight tomato cans. I'm not sitting here padding my record. I want to be the best in the world. In order to do that, like I said, I got to beat the best. So both. I want to make a statement. I want to make a statement that I'm here. I ain't here to fuck around. I'm here for real. So keeping my O and getting a stoppage in this fight would do both, I believe.
And you mentioned that you want to be the best. And, obviously a lot of fighters have that goal. What about Justin Gonzales is different and will, help you get to the point where you are indeed the best?
To be honest, I feel I am the best 145er in the world. Now I get the opportunity to show it. Like I answered to somebody earlier, man, you guys got to see what I'm doing in this camp. Man, I ain't messing around. I got some great partners pushing me. I got the best jiu-jitsu guys. I got the best wrestlers. I'm going up to elevation and running, man. I'm putting my body through some stuff that normal people wouldn't do. So I think that's what separates me, is I'm willing to go to those dark places that others aren't.
Curtis?
Hey, Justin, this is Curtis Calhoun with Low Kick MMA. How's it going, man?
Good, brother. Good to hear from you.
Good to talk to you again. Hey, I got the chance to sit down with you for an interview last week to talk about your road to Bellator. When you look back at your journey, how are you feeling just a few days out from your Bellator debut?
Man, it's been a fun journey. I'm very blessed, man. I love what I do. I get glorified for beating the shit out of people. Please excuse my language. It's fun. I'm very blessed. I've worked very hard for this since I was a little boy, and thinking about the journey, man, I didn't have my eyes set on being this glorified fighter. And then from my first fight, I fell in love with the sport and never looked back. So being where I am, this is already a win. But like I said, man, I got my eyes set on bigger goals. So yeah, the sky's the limit for me.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Michael?
Hey, Justin, how are you?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
Everything good here in Puerto Rico, sir. Thank you very much for your time. I wanted to ask you how important for you as a fighter it is to maintain your undefeated record more than, as a fighter for your legacy inside the MMA industry.
Having that O is really cool. I think it's a really powerful tool. It really helps promote me as a fighter, as a person, I guess. But like I said earlier, man, I'm here to fight the best. I want to beat everybody who stands in front of me. And sometimes in that journey, man, little crazy stuff happens. So I'm not afraid to take an L, but I'm here to fuck some people up. So I'm here for real. So on that journey, I plan on keeping it, man. It's going to take a bad motherfucker to take that from me.
And what's your opinion on Bellator as an organization, and how's been your experience so far with them?
This being my first experience, man, everybody's been real cool, man. Everybody's been really accommodating, making sure all my needs are taken care of. I'm very blessed, man. Thank these guys. These guys are professional. They handle their business extremely, extremely well. And they're about the fighters. So I'm very happy to be here.
Ryan?
How's it going, Justin? Ryan from KSMMA. How you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So you're making your Bellator debut here on Friday. How excited are you to go out there and put on a show for a much bigger platform than where you were before?
Man, I am pumped. I'm ecstatic. I'm very blessed. I'm sitting in a great opportunity, a great position. Man, it's been a long layoff. I haven't fought for just under a year. So I'm pumped to be back, man. I'm ready to make a statement. How else can I say it, bro? I'm ready to do this already.
Thank you, man, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Jeff?
Yes, Jeff Brantley here from the Man in the Cage podcast. Justin, you seem extremely comfortable going into your first Bellator fight here. Obviously, you fought on LFA, you fought on the Contender Series. What can fans expect that haven't seen you fight? What can they expect to see from you if they haven't seen you fight yet Friday night after they see you step in the Bellator cage for the first time?
Expect some excitement, man. I'm going to push the pace on this guy. I'm a very smart fighter, I like to think. Whatever tools I got to whip out to get the job done, that's what I'm going to do. If I got to be a gangster, get a little mean with this guy, then so be it. If I got to be more methodical, more stylistically inclined, piece him up a little bit, I'll do it. If I got to whip out my wrestling, we want to make it a wrestling match, I'm fine with that. You want to try to go jiu-jitsu and start grappling? Cool. I'm more than ready. I'm well-rounded. I got it all. So wherever you want to go, man, let's do this.
Thanks, Justin.
No problem.
All right. Last one here. Ronald?
This is Ron E. Smith from Getting Real. Justin, you just talked about it's been a long layoff before this fight coming up. So how has training been for you? And how do you not allow the feeling of the anticipation of this fight and the excitement of being here get to you?
Man, this is just another day doing what I do, bro. I've had 20 fights under my belt. I've wrestled since I was a little boy. I've been on big stages in the college wrestling scene, been on big stages in the MMA world. This is just another day doing what I do, bro. I'm blessed to be here. I'm happy to be here. I visualized this since I was an amateur, man. So obviously I'd be lying if I didn't have a little anxiety to get in there and get this done and just go do it already. But that's all part of the game, man. If you can see me, I got a big old smile on my face. I'm happy to be here. I'm enjoying the ride.
All right, Justin, thanks for the time and good luck on Friday.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
The recording has stopped.
Next up, we have Kyle Crutchmer. If you have a question for Kyle, please press the raised hand button at the bottom of your screen. Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, we are now being joined by Kyle Crutchmer. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Maria, your line is now live.
Hello, Cal. Maria Morales with Throwing Bows podcast. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. So really quickly, a lot is made when new fighters come into Bellator with undefeated records. And so going into this matchup against Levin, is there anything for you that is really concerning or just an area that you want to focus on going up against an undefeated fighter who in other promotions has been known for like aggressive striking and stand-up? How do you go into this? What's the plan?
It's a common wrestler versus striker matchup, and majority of the time, the guys that have my background win these fights. He's 9-0 with 9 finishes or something like that. Because the last fight, he fought a wrestler and was taken down, 4 or 5 different times. So, and if me and that guy he fought was the wrestler, I would smash him. So. I'm not too worried about any man in what they do. I'm just worried about what I can control and going in there and doing what I do best. And that's, now this camp, I've been able to really put things together and do it against really high level guys. So, I'm not too focused on this guy like that. I'm more focused on doing what I'm supposed to do and going out there and looking to finish this dude.
Awesome. And with that, let's say that happens. Do you believe that with that you should be looked at as somebody that should be entering the rankings in the welterweight division?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that you should just view me like that yet, but I definitely think that, with time coming, I feel like I'll definitely be one of the best in the world and how I train and the things that I do. It's going to be hard to stop. It's going to be hard for people to stop. I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in. I'm at the highest level that I've been since I've started training. The longer this goes, and the longer my career goes, and this is going to be the tougher I'm going to get. And I think the Kyle that was my last fight, I think that I finished that guy. So. I'm just we're focused on getting better and focused on, what's at stake this fight. And then after this fight, I'll look and see and things like that. And we'll talk to my coaches. And yeah, if they move me in the top 10, I'll definitely be ready for it.
So Kyle, you obviously, you fought back in October on the Bellator 249 card. So you've experienced the fight sphere without fans in attendance. Then obviously this is the first Bellator event with fans back here in attendance. Can you kind of speak on that, the differences and what you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I think, last fight was really eerie feeling. It's been a really long time since I've competed with no fans. And when I was in college, we wrestled at Oklahoma State. I wrestled at Oklahoma State, and we wrestled in front of thousands of fans damn near every week. I wrestled in front of 42,000 one time and had a really good performance. So, I think fans are what make, sports in general fun. And, it gets you hype. It's exciting. you know, and a lot of guys fold underneath that. And for me, if you go look at my track record in the sports that I've competed in, when there's a lot of fans, the better I do. So, you know, I'm just excited to hear people talking and people booing and cheering or however they want to do it. But you know, there's nothing like having fans involved with what you're doing.
Steve?
Hi, Kyle. It's Steve from MMA Lowdown. So that resilience that you've shown after your first loss has been really great and inspiring to see. Now, I'm just curious to see, so the confidence you've got coming into this fight, is that partly built by the fact that you spar and train with absolute killers like Islam and Khabib? So when it comes to getting into the cage with people who, quote unquote, have a kind of padded record, does that feel less intimidating coming into the cage?
I mean, anytime you are waking up on a Monday morning and going to your training, knowing that you're going to spar Khabib or Islam or, you know, or one of those other high level guys that we could just go down the list at, you know, that I feel more, I guess you would say nervous there than I do for a guy like this, you know. So it's, you're sparring Khabib, it's going to be hard just to take him down and do the things that you normally do. It's, I mean, you're in there and it's war for 2 or 3 rounds, however many rounds you go with them. And then you got a guy like Islam who will be the next 155-pound champ in the UFC. And he's not very small. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him, but he's a big guy. So, yeah, I mean, like right before I got here, I was training with those guys and learning and still, you know, progressing and doing the things that I do best. And yeah, I mean, once you have guys like that as training partners and you see how they go out and make things look so effortlessly against, you know, much better opponents than you know, the guys that I'm fighting right now, you know, they're fighting the top level and you're competing with them. I mean, there's not much you can look at and not be confident about. So, you know, I'm a confident guy in general. I think any MMA fighter, if you don't have that confidence, I think it'll end up biting you in your ass. So for me, man, I'm confident. I have great training partners, great coaches, and I come from one of the best camps, if not the best camp in the world. And, you know, I'm just looking to keep doing what I'm doing and progressing.
Yeah, don't doubt it. Best of luck. Can't wait.
Santiago?
Hi, Kyle. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time. So you already talked a little bit about your camp at AKA. Who helped you out specifically for this fight camp? Do you have a small group who you work with?
No, I mean, honestly, man, we have a very good structure at AKA, and we have, you know, like I said, I have great coaches, and you know, everyone's involved and everyone's trying to help everybody get better. You know, there's no real focus on just me, you know. I mean, I have teammates that are trying to get better as well, and you know, and if they're pushing themselves to get better, then that means that they're helping me. So, you know, I wouldn't say I have a small team or my own thing going AK. I don't. I have coaches that care. I have coaches that put me in positions, you know, that will help me get to where I need to be. And yeah, I have a great team, man, and I'm surrounded by nothing but killers, and you know, and as much as they're killers, they're great people. So, you know, I'm just excited to do what I do best, and that's compete.
Daniel Cormier is one of the most loved people in all of MMA, and he's such a competitor. How special was it for you to have DC around you, and how did he influence your career?
I mean, he just called me before I got in here, so he's constantly checking on me. He, you know, I see him every day pretty much, and you know, at first it was kind of like, whoa, you know, that's DC, but as the time went on, man, that's like my big bro now. You know, we talk about everything. We trash talk each other about, you know, video games. We help coach each other, you know, our kids club and things like that. So, I mean, anytime you have a figure like that around who's had success in this sport and seen it all, and, you know, and he's the one that's giving me, you know, the final decisions on who I'm fighting right now. And, you know, I just feel very comfortable with him, and I know he cares, you know, so when you have a guy like that, that's, you know, an influence, and you've got to see him go through some of the, you know, the hardest camps and biggest camps of, you know, any MMA fighter's career. You pull from that blueprint, and you don't make up your own. You just follow that, and you know, and I know it's going to work for me, and I know that I'll end up being a world champion at some point.
Ed?
Hi, Kyle. Ed Carbajal with MMAnews.com. When you were talking about having no fans and versus fans, you used the word eerie to describe the silence in the arena. I was just wondering, does that actually mess with your performance when you walk in the cage and the first bell goes?
No, because at the end of the day, there's someone across from you trying to knock your head off.
Mm.
So, I mean, it was just different. It was definitely different. But as much as I did lose that fight. I mean, if there's a lot of people who also say I won, I feel like I had a breakout. As far as not using my best weapon and going out there and just standing up with a very tough guy for 3 rounds. And I feel like I had a really good performance from where I was in my career at that time. And and any time you do something like that, step out of your comfort zone. And I mean, I'm a wrestler, man. I just started hitting mitts and stuff 3 years ago. So, and I went out and fought a very tough guy who's been fighting for about 10 years. And, and I competed well. So, no, I mean, no fans. At the end of the day, I'm a competitor, man. And that's just something that is in my blood.
Cool. Thank you.
Abraham.
Hey, Kyle, it's Abraham from the Fightly Report. You mentioned in camp that you finally started putting it all together. Were there any significant changes in camp or maybe in your life that has you much more confident now entering this next fight?
No, I mean, man, when you work as hard as I do, and you're around guys that are working as hard and they're getting ready for fights and they're getting ready and doing the things that they're trying to get themselves prepared. I feel like you gain confidence from that, and that's something that I got to see. I've been around guys that are getting ready for fights this whole camp, and I have teammates that can wrestle, I have teammates that can strike, I have teammates that are great on the ground, and so I have a bunch of different looks. And I wouldn't say there was a specific moment. I just worked my ass off for 9 weeks this camp, and got myself in the best shape I can, and we have a game plan. And I mean, that's really all you can ask for is those things. That's where you get your confidence from. And if I can execute what I've been executing in this camp, I see myself dominating this fight.
Last one, Dylan.
Hey there, Kyle. Appreciate you making the time. I was just curious because much has been made of your AKA training, and understandably so, but just with like the deeper wrestling lineage you have there, like I'm noticing with cowboy wrestling, OSU, you got Daniel Cormier as has been mentioned, but also Randy Couture, Johnny Hendricks. Like, does that compound the motivation level, just wanting to be part of a similar lineage of MMA success?
Yeah, I mean, man, I think I haven't obtained things that those guys have obtained, but I feel like I've been pretty successful so far as stepping in and not just being a complete dud. So, I feel like there's not like an added pressure or anything from that. It's just, it's cool to be from that. It's like it's a blessing. It's a privilege to wrestle at Oklahoma State. There's not one man that's bigger than the program. And you see guys, that go on and win world championships, Olympic titles, and you're trained under the greatest of all time with John Smith. And once you're able to see all these high level guys and their mentalities and get that kind of bestowed in you a little bit, there's not much that's gonna sway my confidence from anything. And like I said, man, it's been a blessing. I've trained with Johnny before he fought GSP for about 6 weeks. I've been around Daniel Cormier's camps. I've never met Randy, but if we ever did meet, we would be able to probably share some very similar wrestling stories. So it's cool, man. It's a blessing, and being a Cowboy is for me, it was a lifelong dream.
Thanks for the time, Kyle. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
The recording has stopped.
Next up is Lucas Brennan. And just a friendly reminder here, if you have a question for Lucas, please press the raise hand button at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, we are now being joined by Lucas Brennan. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Maria, your line is now live.
Lucas, Maria Morales with Throwing Bows Podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing good, ma'am. How are you?
Pretty good. And so I'm going to ask you a question that I asked another fighter earlier, because we know that a lot is made of fighters with undefeated records. Going into this matchup with Matthew, what's the most important thing to you? Is it, securing the win and keeping the record intact, or really making a statement to help you as you continue to grow your career in Bellator?
I mean, most important thing I think is being able to secure a healthy win. Being able to go and make a statement. That I belong in this division, and that I know I turned 21 a week ago, but that I'm an adult and that I'm in this division. But I also, it's important to be able to secure the win.
And also, because as you just stated, you are relatively young. As you were preparing for this fight, was there an area that you felt like you really needed to work on to continue to evolve your game? Was there a primary focus?
I think it's always important to continue to round out my game, make sure everything is up to par. I think it is no secret what I specialize in and what I prefer my game plan to be. And so, those absolutely styles of my game that we made sure to emphasize on.
Good luck.
Abraham?
Hey, Lucas, it's Abraham from the Fightly Report. You're a big prospect in the Bellator featherweight division, and you, like you said, you just turned 21. Happy late birthday, by the way. Is there anyone, if you get the victory, is there anyone in particular you would like to fight next, or is there a list you have of fighters you want in the near future?
No, sir. I don't obsess myself with the rankings and anyone who's in front of me. I'm not walking off of my fights asking for the belt. Asking for all the ranked guys. I think I'll get there when I get there, and I want to work my way into that division and not talk my way into it. I think my performances should show for themselves.
All right, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, our next question comes from the line of LMD Magazine.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, so I have a question for you. I'm Michelle from LMD Magazine, and I wanted to know, are you excited about the fans coming back?
I am. It's cool, especially in this sort of arena. The last place I had a crowd was the WinStar, which seats significantly less. I believe it's not a full crowd, but the crowd's cool.
Okay, and one more question. Your last fight you won by decision. Are you looking for the win tonight by knockout or submission?
I'm looking for a finish either way, preferably a submission. But I'm gonna look for whatever finish presents itself.
All right, Dylan.
Hey there, Lucas. Appreciate you making some time.
Of course, man.
I was just curious, you're on your individual journey and everything like that, but just, having someone, like your dad in your corner there, just a veteran of UFC and pride and whatnot. Can you kind of talk about that dynamic as you're on this individual journey?
It's helpful in a sense that I have a coach that has that experience, someone who I have 7 fights, total. That's someone with an extreme number of fights and experience, and so it's someone that you can handle that like information with, and someone to switch that information with and learn from, while also being someone that you live with. It's not someone that I split from every day, so it's a good dynamic.
Awesome. Thanks for the insights, man.
All right, Ronald.
This is Ronald E. Smith. And my question for you is, your previous fight, you won by unanimous decision. So what did you take from your previous fight, and what have you learned, and what are you hoping to learn in your next upcoming fight now?
I was able to take a lot from that fight, pros and cons. It was the first time I'd gone to a decision as a professional, and it was good to be able to do that and feel that I could do more, that I wasn't tired. I felt good for another round. I had a ton of energy. I physically felt amazing afterwards. And so I was happy to be able to know that I had that potential, right, just in case. And it gave me a lot more film to work on with my striking. I had a lot more wrestling I was able to emphasize on and critique a little bit. Tons of striking to work with. It gave me a lot of time to work. That was a little over 6 months ago. So I've just been rounding out my game, and I hope to show more of it this coming weekend.
Thank you.
All right, last one here. Santiago.
Hi, Lucas. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time. You made your Bellator debut at just 19 years old. I've seen all of your fights, and you're very patient and calculated when you are in the cage. This is quite strange to see for people outside of the sport, to see a young person really carry himself in the cage. Is this your natural you? Are you feeling like a fish in the water when you are in the cage?
It's an interesting comparison. Yeah. I mean, I feel very comfortable. When I'm in there, I don't think there's any point in rushing a finish or any sort of like decision. I'm not trying to rush to anything like that. I think the only thing that does is open me up and make me more susceptible. And I think it's important to, get my game plan in, be entertaining while also retaining my physical health and getting my game plan in correctly.
How have Bellator been taking care of you? Do you feel the love and appreciation from the company? Because they're giving you great fights on very stacked cards, right?
Absolutely, and they're giving me good opponents. Everyone I fought has more fights than me. They have more experience than me. This guy's a little younger than my previous opponents, but everyone's older than me. All these guys have wives and kids. I was able to drink a week ago and I can't. So, it's like I'm definitely getting there as it goes age-wise. And the company definitely has shown me a ton of appreciation. I was super appreciative that I was able to have my debut with them. And I'm very happy that I'm able to continue my career with them.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Lucas. Thank you very much for the time. Good luck on Friday.
The recording has stopped.
Next up, we have Tywan Claxton.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, we are now being joined by Tywan Claxton. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Mike, your line is now live.
Hey, Tywan. Coming in, obviously, you're the veteran, with Bellator, and he's coming in with an undefeated record. I'm curious how your experience, not just inside the promotion, but inside your career, has kind of set you up to welcome this challenge of an undefeated young fighter who believes he's the best in the world.
He said that he's the best in the world. Is that what he said? Can they hear me?
Yeah, he said he's best 145 in the world.
Oh yeah. I think that my experience is about to allow me to let him get a piece of humble pie. You know, I think that he's a tough fighter. He's undefeated. But I think that we all know that there's a difference inside the Bellator cage. You know, there's a difference between the regional scene and you know, one of the best organizations in the world. And there's a difference between, you know, like the atmosphere. There's a difference between being able to maintain your mind and stay sharp and stay focused and not get caught up in all the media and everything else, all the other obligations that you have to do when you get to this stage and you're on this level. So, and then there's also a difference in the competition, you know, like training with hard people is one thing, and then being across the cage from another guy like a Sanchez or, you know, like a Wilson is a completely different animal, or like a Claxton, you know, being across the cage from a guy that's like me or like one of those guys will let you know real fast that you always have room to grow. So I'm looking forward to welcoming the best 145 pounder in the world to Bellator come Friday night.
Abraham?
Hey, Tywan. Your opponent has predicted a second or third round finish. What do you have to say to that, especially since you have fought, like you mentioned, top tier competition like Sanchez and Wilson? And do you have any predictions on this fight to counter his argument?
Well, we both think that there's going to be a finish, you know, so I can agree with him on that. But, you know, him thinking that there's going to be a second or third round finish, that I think that just lets me know that maybe he's not going to be prepared for a war. You know, anytime you think that you're going to finish a guy, you're either really confident in your skills or you're doubting his skills, right? So it's one or the other. I just know that I'm going to be the best version of myself, and I don't think that he'll be ready to handle the best version of myself. He can say what he want to say, but I'm about to beat his ass. You know, I think that's, whether it's the second round or the third round or the first round, I'm gonna make sure he knows too. I'm gonna make sure he knows that he ain't gonna finish nobody, that he gonna get this top 10 with. So I guess that's what I have to say to him saying that he's gonna finish me. You know, the only person that said that and actually was able to do it was Sanchez, and hey, hats off to him. But he ain't Emmanuel Sanchez. So
thank you for your time.
Ryan?
How's it going? Tywan, Ryan from Chaos MMA. Now you're going out there facing undefeated fighters, making his Bellator debut. How much does that motivate you to go out there and give him his first loss?
I knew this fight was coming a year ago. You know, I knew this fight was coming right after the J.J. Wilson fight. He knew this fight was coming a year ago. And since then, I've dealt with a lot of things outside of fighting, and also dealt with a lot of things that I need to deal with inside of the cage as well, being at Elevation and being with my new team. So, you know, it's always good to have been through the fire, both inside the gym and inside of a real fight, and to understand what it really takes to come out there and get the W and get after it. So, you know, the guy's never lost before. Of course, he's going to be confident. But at the end of the day, like, I think that we both know that there's levels and that he hasn't fought anybody on this level. So it's going to feel good. I'm going to give him his first loss for sure. You know, I love the fact that you guys are telling me that he thinks he's the best and that he's going to stop me and this and that. It's like, you can say what you want to say, but at the end of the day, I'm going to beat your ass, you know, and I feel confident enough to say that. So it's either going to be me finishing him or it's going to be a really, really good fight. It'll be one of the best fights in Bellator history, but I know the best version of myself is coming on Friday night, so that's always good.
Jeff?
Jeff Brantley, the Man in the Cage podcast. Last time out, you fell just short, of course, against JJ Wilson. Coming out of that fight, what did you learn from that performance? And did you work on anything specific in this training camp? You mentioned your team this time around. I mean, was there anything specific you worked on coming into this fight against Justin?
Yeah, just staying mentally engaged the entire round, staying mentally engaged the entire fight. There's a lot of technical things that we worked on, which helped me stay mentally engaged. A lot of different barriers that we crossed. But I think that just having a year with my team, having a year of sparring with Carrington Banks, having a year of sparring with Justin Gaethje, having a year of sparring with Corey Sandhagen, Drew Dober, you name all these. I can name guys off, left and right. You've seen what I've done inside the Bellator cage before I moved to Elevation, and my amateur record speaks for itself when I was in Florida with the Black Zillions. But I think that, for the first half of my professional career, being in Cleveland and kind of running a team and, doing a little bit more coaching and not so much competing. And, I still came out here and I gave a good show. And so I just know that now, I'm in a different spot. I'm in a different spot physically. I'm in a different spot mentally. I'm in a different place in my entire life. So, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off. He's going to get a whole new fighter. And I think that they'll be surprised. You go look at any fight I've lost or any wrestling match that I've lost, and I always come back with a different type of intensity and fire because I hate losing more than I like winning. And so I do things that I necessarily don't feel like doing, don't want to do. I would skip out on doing, going, picking hard rounds, making sure I've got everything right. So he's going to be in for a rude awakening. It's going to be a whole different person.
Thanks, Tywan. Good luck Friday night.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Dylan?
Hey there, Tywan. Appreciate you making some time.
Yeah, no worries.
I was just curious. I mean, a lot's made about the, alterations with the camp and stuff like that. I'm kind of curious, how have you been keeping up with like any of the coding endeavors as of late?
So actually I have. I've been coding a lot. But for this fight camp, for the past 9 weeks, my team convinced me to be one-tracked while I'm in fight camp. So usually I'll get up, I'll code for 3 or 4 hours, and then I'll go train, go eat, go train, go eat, and then go back home and maybe code or maybe chill depending on how I'm feeling. But this camp, my coaches are like, hey man, can you cut the coding down to just the weekend? And I was like, I'm not sure. Like everything that I do in this life, I do for money. Like I fight for money. I code because it pays. Like I don't do anything to be necessarily the best. Like I'm not looking to get a belt. If I do get a belt or I do get a title shot, I'm going to look to be the best version of myself, that day. And that's that. But throughout this camp, I've been doing like maybe on a Wednesday, which is one of my lighter days, I do like an hour, and then maybe on a Saturday, I do like an hour. But like I took off like minimum. I used to have minimum hours that I was going to code a day. And so now I don't have any minimum, or at least while I'm in camp, I don't have a minimum. And I've cut my coding down, 98%, just because, that's something that my coaches asked me to do. And I said, all right, I'll give it a shot. Like I'll see what happens when we're one track. We'll see how much growth we can have. So I've actually been really, really, really laxed on my coding.
Awesome. Thanks for the insights, man.
All right, last one here. Maria?
Hi, Tywan. Maria Morales with the Throwing Bows podcast. I got 2 questions for you really quickly, and I want to start with the one that you kind of talked about a bit ago, as far as your mental preparation. So you said that coming off of the loss to Wilson, that was one of the key areas that you needed to focus on. What exactly, or can you share maybe some of the things that you did to help improve like that mental awareness during the fight and to improve your mental game?
I think just the change in camp and constantly taking tips from guys that are at the top of their game. Taking bits and pieces from each person and making it my own. So, like Sandhagen's added some stuff to my game. Gaethje's added some stuff. Banks has added some stuff. Of course, my coaches have added different little things to my game. So just kind of taking bits and pieces from different people and being a student again and being willing to learn and compete at the same time. So I think that's helped me make a mental transformation.
And the last one for me, obviously the reason that the saying that you never want to leave it in the judge's hands is because sometimes it doesn't go your way. And coming off a split decision loss to Wilson and hearing that your opponent has already predicted how this fight is going to end, how important is it to you to get a finish? And how do you think, or how would you like to predict that finish would happen?
I think that it's not important for me to get a finish. It's just important for me to go out there and be the best version of myself, push myself. I think if I'm the best version of myself, he'll break, So that's the most important thing. It's battling the things that go on inside of myself, being inside of myself. So, it's not that important for me to go out and get a finish. I think that by going out there and being the best version of myself, the finish will come, if that makes sense.
All right. Thank you very much for the time. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
The recording has stopped.
Next up, we have Aiden Lee. If anyone has a question for Aiden, please press the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, we are now being joined by Aiden Lee. Once again, we're going to begin with a few questions from our media. Steve, your line is now live.
Hi, Ian. It's Steve from MMA Lowdown. So I just wanted to ask you, so a win over Aaron Pico is going to throw you right into that top 10 mix. Now, he's shown to have a killer mentality in the cage, but he's also shown a lot of vulnerability with the losses that he had back in 2019. I just want to know, do you appreciate the hype surrounding him? Or do you think he's just had a lower quality of opponents so far?
He's a skilled fighter, you know. He's got good hands. He's got good wrestling. But I'm a skilled fighter, you know. I'm 9-4. I've fought across I've fought good guys my whole career. You know, I've been the underdog in a lot of these fights. I've beat good guys, and yeah, man. I should be in the top 10 anyway. I don't know why I'm not in the top 10, but obviously Aaron Pico is number 6. I'm going to beat number 6, and then I'm coming for the top 5.
No, can't wait to see it. Best of luck on the night.
Thank you.
All right, Ed.
Hi, Aiden. Ed Carbajal with MMAnews.com. I mean, you just kind of mentioned part of what my question was about how you match up against Pico. I know there's a lot of footage out there, you know, with his wins and losses. So I'm just wondering, I mean, you just said you felt like you should have been in the top 10 as well. So how do you feel like you match up against him for 260?
I feel like, you know, the guys that have studied the fights, you know, that have watched me and watched him, they see how the matchups, they see how the matchup is. You know, to a lot of people, a lot of the casuals, they see Aaron Pico, who's this Aiden Lee guy from the UK. But this is my introduction to the casual fan, man. I get to fight a guy who's got a lot of hype surrounding him, and I'm going to smoke him. I'm going to smoke him Friday night, and it's going to be my introduction to the casual fan.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jake, go ahead.
Hi, Aiden. How's it going?
Good, thank you.
So I know I spoke to you like immediately after the Jeremy Petley win, and you told us that for you, almost a breakout fight would be fighting an American in America, and that would really sort of get you up there in the rankings. How happy are you now to have this opportunity to go out there and show the American fans exactly what you're made of?
I'm buzzing, man. I can't wait. You know, I've been on this MMA journey over 10 years. You know, I'm 26 now. You know, I was a kid who wanted to, you know, had a dream, and you know, here I am. I'm in the States. This is my US debut, and I'm just looking forward to putting on a good performance Friday, man. And soon I'll have that belt around my waist.
What's it been like for you as well? Of course, this in the UK with COVID restrictions, some gyms have been open, some haven't been able to. But of course, with you being a professional fighter, you can train. But it hasn't been just you at Renegade that had fights coming up. You, Fabian, Rocky, Jai having fights. What's the vibe been like in Team Renegade over the last few weeks where you've had each other to help get through the camps?
It's been a good atmosphere in the gym, man. Like, as you say, like we've got a lot of high-level guys in our gym, you know, and everyone's prepping for big fights, and everyone's just bouncing off each other in the gym, man. We're all building off each other, and we're all here to take over, man. Literally, you know, without sounding too cliche, man. We're all gonna take over. We're gonna smash these guys. I'm gonna smash Pico Friday night. Rocky's gonna smash Diaz Saturday, and then we're gonna celebrate next week. And then Jai's gonna smash Moicano in 2 weeks, man. Like, it's a big time for Team Renegade and Birmingham MMA.
Straight after your last fight as well, you said, look, put some respect on my name. With this Pico bout in America, on a main card, do you feel you're now eventually starting to get that respect that you deserve?
Yeah, man, respect the come up. 100%.
Perfect, Aiden. Thanks very much.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Abraham?
Hey, Aiden, this is your American debut. For the American public who doesn't know who you are yet, who would you say you are as a fighter, and what should they expect in your future?
I'm Aiden Lee, man, and obviously that doesn't mean much to the Americans right now, but it will after Friday. They'll know who I am for sure.
And what should they expect in the Aaron Pico fight and in the future after that fight?
More of what I do, you know. Obviously, at the moment they probably haven't watched me, but if you watch my fights, you know what I bring to the table, man. And I'm an entertaining guy. I finish fights, and I'm coming to finish him.
All right, thank you for your time, Aiden.
Thank you.
Ronald?
This is Ronald E. Smith. You just brought up before that you've been fighting for over 10 years, and in that journey is never easy, especially during with the fight game. So for yourself, what has kept you motivated and keep pushing on even when times get hard?
I'm hungry, man, and you know, when you've got a goal, you stick at it, you keep grafting. You know, I've had losses, you know, like I feel like, you know, Pico, he was hyped up from the get-go with his career. You know, he's been kind of built on Bellator. You know, he's fought some good guys, but he's been built on Bellator. He's probably been paid his whole career. You know, with me, I've had to graft, man. I've fought for peanuts, you know, and here I am on Bellator fighting in my US debut, and yeah, man, I've gone through the struggle, and here I am, man.
Last one, Santiago.
Hi, Aiden. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time. Bellator visited Birmingham in 2019, and that was a massive event. How much would it mean to you, Aiden, if Bellator would visit Birmingham again somewhere next year?
I'd love for him to come. I'm bringing him back to Brum 100%, man. We've got me and Fabian already on Bellator, and you know, we're gonna show the levels, and we're gonna bring it back to Brum. You know, I fought on that Birmingham card. That was my Bellator debut. I lost. You know, I came in too excited. I was trying to take someone's head off, and yeah, man, I'm bringing him back to Brum soon.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you.
All right, Aiden. Thank you very much for the time. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you very much.
The recording has stopped.
Next up, we have Mark Lemminger.
This meeting is being recorded.
We are now being joined by Mark Lemminger. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Dylan, your line is now live.
Hey there, Mark. Appreciate you making some time.
Appreciate you guys having me.
I'm just curious because, you know, I'm noticing that Chosen Few Gym has some, you know, pretty solid representation on this card. Like you also have Alex Polizzi getting out there and ready for it. What's the vibe like in the gym when there's multiple competitors preparing to compete on the same card? Like, does it compound the motivation even further?
Yeah, we got a pretty solid group of guys at Chosen Few. When we get me and Polizzi on the same card, and we just had a couple other guys fighting in Iowa on another promotion. The gym atmosphere has been pretty good. A lot of guys in there, you know, working hard. So this was a good camp for us.
Awesome. Thanks for the insights, man.
You're welcome.
All right, Luke.
Hey, Mark. Nice to see you again. Luke from Empire Universe here. You know, so obviously your last two fights haven't really gone your way. So what has been the most important thing that you and your team have worked on? Has it been the mental part? Has it been the physical part?
No, mental. I'm pretty mentally sound. What happens, you move forward. It's more of a game plan thing. I'm gonna use more of my tools in this fight. You know, my last couple fights, I didn't really use any of my wrestling. I'm gonna push the pace a little bit, try not to leave it up to the judges. You know, those were two, you know, one loss was a cut. Ain't much I can do about that. The other one was just, it came down to me I didn't think I was losing the fight, and if I would have pushed a little harder in the third round, I think I could have pulled off the victory. But those are all improvements, and I think it's going to be a different me this fight.
Thanks, Mark. Good luck on Friday night.
Thank you.
All right, Michael.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
Awesome, man. I wanted to ask you, following up a little bit on the last question, what do you and your corner are going to do different this time to put yourself back on track mentally, physically, and spiritually?
Mentally and physically, I'm there. Like I said in that last question, the losses, they don't really faze me. I haven't really missed a beat. I've been in the gym right after those fights. Really, the motivation didn't change. It comes down to a little different game plan. I'm going to push the pace a little harder. Demarques's previous fights seem like he likes to get right in his opponent's face, which I think will play in just fine to my game plan. I'm going to get after him from the beginning of the fight to the end.
Awesome. Thank you. And good luck on Friday.
Hey, thank you.
Jim?
Yes, thank you. I'm just curious too about your opponent and how much does it go into watching his fights and preparing for your opponent when you're in camp and doing it that way? Because every fight could be a little different.
Yeah. I try not to dwell a lot on watching film. I like to watch a couple of his previous or his most previous fights and get a feel of what he likes to do, what he's good at. But for the most part, I think it's more important to focus on what I'm going to do. I've seen guys get really involved in film and it ends up changing. They end up hesitant to do the things that they're good at, because they're worried about what their opponent might do or what he's good at. When it comes down to it, some of the things they do might be for that opponent and they might not work with you. So I like to focus on what I'm good at, what I plan on doing, and at the end of the day, it's a fight. A lot of things can happen in there. The game plan can go right out the window, and I'm good at adapting to that as well.
And lastly, for me, Mark, what has it been like now? It appears we're going to the next step as far as getting out of the pandemic and getting back to some normalcy. What has that process and progress been like for you?
Oh, it's been good. I think everybody's ready to move on from this. I was out here when the pandemic first started. I was on the card that got canceled. And then I've had a couple fights now with no fans, and I'm ready to get back to some normalcy. I like the fans; they get me excited. I don't know. I'm looking forward to having some crowd there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. And our last question here comes from the line of LMD Magazine. Go ahead. LMD Magazine, your line is now live.
Oh, hey, how you doing, Mark? This is Michelle from LMD Magazine. Outside of training and fighting, what do you do to keep your life balanced?
I got a lot of hobbies. I like old cars. I got a couple old Corvettes that I like to play with. Some old motorcycles. I fixed up a boat last year. I'm always working on something. I got a lot of hobbies outside of fighting, and I think that's important. There's a time that you got to step away and you got to clear your mind a little bit. So that always, with me, that involves going on a motorcycle ride or getting in one of the old Corvettes.
All right, we'll take one more question here. Jim?
Yeah, thank you again. I just wanted to follow up on that because it's really cool. I don't know if you've ever done this or ever thought about this. You ever think of driving a Harley to the ring or to the cage?
If they let me, I would, man. I totally would. That's something I'll have to run past Bellator. I think that'd be awesome.
That would be cool. All right, thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, Mark. Thanks for the time. Good luck on Friday, man.
Thank you.
The recording has stopped.
Next up is Nick Newell. Up next is Jason Jackson. Jason Jackson up next.
This meeting is being recorded.
All righty. We are now being joined by Jason Jackson. We'll begin with a few questions from our media. Maria, your line is now live.
Jason, Maria Morales with Throwing Bows podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome, Maria. How about yourself?
Pretty darn good. So I want to start by asking you, this is going to be now your third fight in about 7 months. So you're definitely staying active. Depending on whether or not you're able to pull this out and defeat Paul, how active do you want to be through the remainder of the year? Like, do you plan on taking a break?
Well, I have a family feat, so I don't have the money and the luxury like all the other fighters them that could, sit and just, unless Scott Coker signed Logan Paul and Logan Paul versus Jason Jackson, then I could take a break for the year. But other than that, I keep going.
Awesome. And then also, you're currently number 3 in the rankings. Obviously, Paul Daley is a dangerous opponent. He's known, for his striking and knocking folks out. With the win, where do you think that puts you in the title picture, and where would you like for it to put you in the title picture?
I don't know. At this point, I don't even confuse my mind no more on title fight or whatnot, because if that was so, I would have got it after the Newell fight, but no, it wasn't. So I'm just going to fight, and whatever Bellator have in mind, if that's what it has, and I'm ready. But if it's not there, I'm going to continue on fighting.
Mike?
Hey, Jason. So I'm curious your thoughts on Paul kind of walking back his retirement comments and taking this fight with you. And then also, if you could kind of speak about the great team you have there down in South Florida at Sanford MMA.
My team, blessed to be a part of my team. And Paul, definitely, I'm not sure if it's that he still feel like he got it or whatnot, but on fight night, definitely I'm going to shut all that down.
All right, Dylan.
Hey there, Jason. I appreciate you making some time.
Thank you.
I'm just curious because, much has been made of the fans coming back for this Bellator show. Like, what's your level of enthusiasm with the fans being back in attendance?
It's all right because I competed more with the fan than without the fan.
All right, Jim.
Hey, Jason, nice hoodie. Like to see you representing there.
Yes. Team been grateful to me. You know it.
Hey, so just a little bit about who you worked with for this fight to prepare you. Some of the ones you worked with in the past that are still with you. You're working with Sanford MMA, and anybody new you brought in to spar or train with.
I haven't brought in anyone new because we have everyone we need. But one difference that I had is a little bit of knowledge from Raymond Daniels, which is like key.
All the best. Thank you, Jason.
Appreciate that.
Steve?
Hey, Jason. It's Steve from MMA Lowdown. So I just want to ask, right, so you've been on a tear now, so you're number 3. You're fighting Paul Daley, who's very dangerous, but he is unranked. A win's going to be great for your record and your reputation, but some would say it's a risky fight, and all the work that you've put in to get to that belt could be sabotaged if you lost. Is that weighed on your mind at all coming into this?
Well, it's not on my mind because my mind is just set on fighting. So even if it's still a setback, every setback is a setup for a comeback. So to me, if I'm supposed to get there, I'm going to get there. They can't do nothing or fix with my destiny.
I love that confidence. Good luck on the night. Can't wait.
Thank you.
Ryan?
How's it going, Jason? Ryan from KSMA. You're facing a very experienced opponent in Paul. Now, are you expecting this to be one of your toughest matchups yet?
Well, expecting, but sometimes when you expect some of the stuff, it just that it'd be like the easiest one. So, I can't really, what would you say, think ahead. That's like a foolish thing to do.
Thank you, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Santiago?
Hi, Jason. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time. This is your third co-main event spot in a row, if I am correct, Jason. Bellator is giving you a lot of great opportunities on really stacked cards. Can you feel this appreciation as well, Jason?
I always give thanks. Always have and always will.
Is the Dutch master Henry Hooft going to be in your corner for this fight? And how important was Henry for your preparation to this fight?
Henry Hooft is a little under the weather, but like I said, he's one of the main, function in the whole system.
Abraham?
Hey, Jason. You had MVP in his last outing mentioned that he wants to fight you sometime in the near future. With a victory against Daley, you should be next in line for a title shot. However, like you mentioned before, you never know. Would you like to fight MVP if that title shot is not next?
This fight was originally asked for MVP, but I was told that MVP was promised a title fight.
How do you feel about that, especially knowing you're fighting a very dangerous guy in Paul Daley?
I don't feel anywhere about it because once I beat Paul Daley, maybe I feel good afterward. I might take another one. Because MVP is definitely talking about waiting until September, and I have a family to feed.
Michael?
Hey, Jason, how are you?
I'm doing awesome.
Awesome, brother. As mentioned before during this press conference, your opponent is really experienced. However, you are on a 4-winning streak. Do you and your corner plan to do something different for this one, or just stick to the winning strategy you've been utilizing for the last 4 fights?
Yes, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win, definitely, for sure. Whatever it takes. I'm definitely planning on being well-rounded. Like, I know that's when I'm at my best. So he have a lot to worry about than I do.
Awesome. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Jeff?
Jeff Brantley, the Man in the Cage podcast. Jason, Paul Daley, all the power and the striking that he has coming into this fight. Do you plan on just doing your normal game plan against him, or do you guys down there, Henry Hooft, Sanford MMA, or you have some extra tricks up your sleeve going into this fight?
Like I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win. That's my game plan, whatever it takes. You can tell from my last fight. I had one eye, and what I did whatever it takes to get that victory. I'm that type of person. That's just how I was built. And that's just something that people going to realize about Jason Jackson, that I will do whatever it takes.
Thanks, Jason.
Ronald?
This is Ronald E. Smith. Jason, while you are co-main eventing, the main event is for the welterweight title. So just to have your thoughts, how do you think that fight will play out?
Definitely going to be a tough battle, but I'm rooting for Amazons, because I'm all about out with the old and with the new, and would be good for Amazons and I to fight in a title fight after this fight. And I've been working hard to put away Paul Daley and get my title shot, earn my title shot, not given or promised. I'm going to earn it.
Dylan?
Hey there, Jason. I'm kind of curious here because anecdotally, I've talked to multiple fighters from Sanford MMA, and they all seem to shout out your tunes you pick in the gym. Are you the official Sanford MMA DJ at this point? And what's the secret to laying down good tunes in the gym?
No. Greg Jones is, not me. Greg Jones. But definitely, always reggae vibes.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Our next question comes from the line of Suki MMA.
Hey, Jason, how's it going? I mean, I feel like you keep a really good demeanor despite your record. You have so much experience on your belt. What is it about your career that's allowed you to kind of stay calm going into big fights like this? You have Colby, Hayder Hassan under your belt. It's really nice to see such a good demeanor for a fighter.
Yeah, because I've been through a lot, and especially on the bad end of the deal, hospital after hospital and all this, that just signs that just said, hey, you're not supposed to belong here, you're not supposed to be here. And I find the courage and grit and get through it. So now I know it's just take courage. And once you have some courage, you get through anything.
All right. And our last question here comes from the line of the LMD magazine. Go ahead.
Hi, Jason. This is Michelle from LMD Magazine. How you doing today?
I'm doing awesome.
All right. So I fell in love with MMA about 3 years ago because of Black Sales MMA. So, and I learned that fighting is mental and physical. So what did you do to prepare for this fight?
Well, the physical part is training, definitely. And the mental part is just finding ways every day is how to love every little moment, every little thing. So you won't be upset or any type of bad energy in your body, you know, just love. Close to your family, food, whatever it is, just more love, just bring more love. It builds up your mental game, I think. Love.
All right. Thanks for the time, Jason. Good luck on Friday.
Appreciate that.
The recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
We are now being joined by Nick Newell. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Maria, your line is now live.
Nick, Maria Morales with Throwing Bows Podcast. How you doing today?
I'm very good. I'm feel great.
Awesome. So just to ask you, I mean, obviously you're coming off of a bit of a layoff, not fighting since 2019. How excited are you to get back into the cage? And do you feel like there's going to be any like jitters after such a long layoff?
I mean, last time I had a long layoff, I had 2.5 years off. I won in the first round. So I think that it's just an attitude thing. It's just, it all comes down to perception and how you deal with things. And I think that I'll be fine. You know, I actually felt worse when I was fighting like every other month. You know, I feel good, I feel rested, and I feel ready to go.
Thank you.
Luke.
Hey, Nick. Luke from Empire Universe. How are you, man?
Fantastic.
That's good to hear. So what have you and your team been working on for this fight?
Obviously, I'm fighting a guy that's a pretty good fighter. You know, he has good striking. He looks like I don't know if he looks like necessarily a great wrestler, but he's strong. And he'll power out of things, and he has good cardio, and he has a lot of submission wins. So I'm just kind of doing my thing and focusing on myself and worrying about me being the sharpest version of myself, so I can dominate wherever the fight goes and dictate where the fight goes and where I want the fight to take place. You know, I've had a great camp, and I've had great people around me, and I've added a lot of things in this camp that have been super beneficial, and is going to make a big difference.
Thanks, Nick. Good luck on Friday night.
Thank you.
Mateo.
Hey, Nick. Mateo Urelli here from Boxing Mundial. Looking forward to another victory on Friday night. Just a quick question on what becoming a father has meant to your life, both in training and how you approach being efficient with your training and getting the most out of every minute away from home.
Oh, Mateo, my buddy, one of my favorite reporter right here, honestly, good friend. So anyway, being a father is tough, to be honest with you. It's hard when you have a fight camp coming up, because kids are a lot of work, and it's not easy being a father. It's easy making children, but being an excellent father is a tough job. It's a full-time job, and it requires a lot of your time. But when you fight, if you want to be the best, you have to be selfish. So for me, being selfish was hard, but it was something that I had to do for this fight camp. So my wife and her mother stepped up big time and kind of carried a lot of the weight and responsibility of some of these things. And every second that I had that wasn't training was dedicated to my children and my family. So, you know, after this fight, obviously is my 2-year-old. I have him signed up for soccer, so I'm excited for that. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to most after this fight. But, you know, balancing all that is definitely tough, because you have to make sacrifices one way or the other. And when it's time for fight camp, you have to focus on the fight.
Well, it's good to hear, man. I have a stepdad, and we have a saying in my house that he's not the stepdad, he's the dad that stepped up. But I just have a follow-up question. I was reading a story about your early career, and you spent some time in South Florida, I understand, training, and really had some early success in your career, some first-round victories. And I understand there was a mentor named Florida Doug who kind of took you in and taught you the ropes, taught you about life, taught you about mixed martial arts. And I just wanted to know, it's not really a national story, but what Florida Doug has meant to your life and your career.
So Florida Doug is, you know, he taught me a lot about business. Is what he did. He taught me that anything is possible, and sometimes even if you're just having a sandwich, your dreams can come true. So, if you're listening, Florida Doug, I appreciate everything you've done for me and the motivation you gave me to start a business and start a family and fight at the highest level. So, I appreciate you, Florida Doug.
You're the man, Nick. Looking forward to Friday. Go get him.
Yeah.
All right, Michael.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Awesome, brother. I wanted to ask you, you've been active inside the MMA industry for almost 12 years, well, for over 12 years. How do you keep finding the fuel, to continue with that passion in your life?
I'm a competitive guy. Ever since I was a little kid, I loved competing. I loved winning. I hated losing. Obviously, you handle it. You take it on the chin and you handle it the right way. But for me, the rush of winning and getting your hand raised, because I wasn't always best. When I started off wrestling, I lost my first 17 matches, and I went on to be all state. And my senior year, I won 53 matches. I went on college, all this, so I know what it's like to be counted out. I know what it's like to lose. So when I got that first like taste of victory, it was something special, and I kind of got addicted to it, you know. And here I am, all these years later, still doing it and loving every second of it.
Awesome. Thank you, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Jeff Brentley, the Man in the Cage podcast. Nick, 2020 was such a frustrating year for everyone, but especially for you. I count 2 fights that you had canceled. Just how frustrating of a year was it? And then how excited are you to get back into the cage this Friday?
I mean, frustrating is a very accurate word, especially considering I feel like I have a lot that I want to show and a lot that I want to prove. And I had these 2 opportunities. I made weight, which isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do for me. And I kind of had the rug yanked out from underneath me. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and fighting. I think that, you know, you're shaped by adversity, and when bad things happen, it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. It's really how you deal with it. And I've taken everything in stride and used this as motivation to be better, to get better, and to be the best version of myself.
Thanks, Nick. Good luck Friday night.
Ronald.
This is Ronald E. Smith. Nick, I just want to follow up on that. You said that, you know, it's the feeling that you had having the rug yanked right out of you. But who was there for you just to keep your spirits up and just to keep you looking ahead for just brighter days?
I mean, really, it comes down to yourself, right? You got to be the one that decides what you want to do. Other people don't decide what kind of path you want to take, what things you want to do with your life. No one can tell you how to feel or what to do. I just stayed positive, stayed motivated, and stayed on the path. I'm a martial artist first, you know, so I'll be training my whole life. Even after I'm done fighting, I'll still be dedicated to progress and getting better and doing things like that. So it wasn't hard for me to get back to training.
Last one here, Dylan.
Hey there, Nick. Appreciate you making some time.
Yeah. I appreciate you having questions for me.
I'm just curious because, you know, this is a big show with the, you know, fans being back in attendance. And I saw your relatively recent tweet where you're saying MMA shorts that look like jorts or nah. Are you going to break out the jorts shorts for this big show here?
If they had George shorts, I would wear them. But unfortunately, no fight company has fight shorts that look like jorts. And I think that they're messing up. I think that they could be making a lot of money doing something like that. And maybe that's something that I need to jump on after this. And you'll see a lot more fighters rocking the jorts. And I'll actually make a special dad edition cargo short looking one for all the fathers that fight out there with nice big fake looking pockets on it.
All right, Nick. Thanks for the time. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
The recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
We are now being joined by Yaroslav Amosov. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from the media. Andrew, your line is now live.
Yaroslav, thank you so much for taking the time to answer a couple of questions today. I'm presenting the Blue Collar Media Group. Now, quick question for you, man. Obviously, your 25 straight wins is pretty damn impressive. 6-0 in Bellator, and obviously coming off a little bit of a layoff here. Do you see yourself putting in a tremendous effort, and do you think you can actually pull off this upset against Mr. Lima?
25-0 рекорд, 6-0 в Беллаторе. Ты видишь себя победителем в этом бою?
So, yes, of course. I see I win. If I not see this, I'm not fighting.
I believe in myself.
I believe muscle, and I want this fight. It's title shot. It's my chance, and I like. Thank you.
All right, we'll go on to Steve here. Steve, go ahead.
Hey, Yaroslav, it's Steve from MMA Lowdown. So, your next fight is against Douglas Lima, undoubtedly your biggest name to date. Now, your record, as we said, is 25-0. Is your confidence extremely high coming into this one, or do you approach this with a bit more caution and respect than usual, given the high caliber of fighter that Lima is?
Дуглас Лима очень доминичный противник, доминантный. И твоя уверенность превосходит себя сейчас, или ты больше аккуратен, подходя к этому бою?
На самом деле я подхожу к каждому бою одинаково. Я отношусь к каждому бою серьезно, и я сконцентрирован максимально на бое. И нельзя слишком быть уверенным в себе, нужно быть концентрированным.
I come into every fight the same way. I try to be very cautious with my opponents. You can't be over too confident. When you go into a fight, you have to be strictly focused and laser focused on the fight you're coming into.
No, we're very excited. Best of luck, and we can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
All right, our next question comes from Maria Morales. Go ahead, Maria.
Hi, Yaroslav. Thank you for the time. Maria Morales with Throwing Bows Podcast. Coming into this fight, I mean, it's one of the most exciting and most anticipated fights in recent Bellator history. But if you pull out the victory and get the belt, what are you looking to do next? Are there any other opponents within Bellator that you are thinking about? Are there opponents elsewhere that you're thinking about? What would be next for you?
Что для тебя будет следующей твоей карьере и какого противника ты хочешь? Или кого?
Hello, thank you. Now I have a fight with Douglas Lima. I want to win this fight. My focus in Douglas, and me not like look after fight. I win. Okay, we talk my next fight now. I not talk because we need title before.
Awesome. And last one from me, going into this, obviously you're both very dynamic fighters. Where was the focus on the camp in preparing for Lima?
Где ты был сфокусирован на подходе к этому бою, на чем ты фокусировался?
Я фокусировался на технике. My focus in technical Douglas Lima. I look fight Douglas Lima, and I have plan, and I show you in cage this plan.
Santiago.
Hi, Yaroslav. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time. Your last fight against Logan Storley was an exhausting, wrestling dominant match where you had to defend a lot of takedowns. After the fight, you said that you would do better against a striker. On Friday, you are facing a striker in Douglas Lima. Does that simply mean, Yaroslav, that we are going to see the grappling this time coming from you?
Прошлый бой был очень тяжелый, и ты сказал в прошлый раз, что у тебя будет лучший бой в стойке.
С ударником.
Ну, с ударником, да, стойки. То есть, хотел спросить, в этот раз ты будешь грэпплинг делать?
So I show you too what I do in cage. Now doesn't matter. Striker, wrestler, rapper, title. This. What? This matter. Now I have title shot, and I must win. Yes, doesn't matter.
Douglas Lima's last fight was against the middleweight champion Gegard Mousasi, and Gegard was able to cruise to a decision win, 4 rounds against 1. Did you see that fight, Yaroslav? And what kind of information did you get from that fight that you want to use for yourself on Friday?
Yes, of course. I look this fight. It's a different weight, different opponent. But I see
See his weak sides and I see his strong sides.
Я буду использовать свои плюсы и минусы.
And I'm gonna use my great sides and the weak sides as well.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you.
Michael?
Hey, Yaroslav. You are on the way to the most important fight of your career so far. How important for you, but especially for the nation of Ukraine, is for you to take that title on Friday?
I'm happy, and I think my country happy too, because I first champion. If I win, I first champion MMA, big organization. I'm happy because I take this title, my mother. I think happy my family, my friend, my team, anything who know me.
Thank you to both of you, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take 1 or 2 more. Abraham?
Hey, Yaroslav, it's Abraham from the Fight League Report. Are there any jitters entering this fight right now, since you're going to fight one of the best welterweights in the world in Douglas Lima? There's a title on the line, and you guys are going to be the first main event for Bellator to open up to fans. Are there any jitters or nerves, or is it just another fight, another day at the office for you?
Первый бой Bellator, первый main event с людьми в стадионе. Как ты себя чувствуешь? Ты нервничаешь или ты себя самоуверен? С фанатом. Точно фанатов, значит.
Me like fighting with fun, because it's energy, big energy. You fighting if you have beautiful fight, people scream, yes, and it's give big energy. Yeah. If you fighting no fun, you not understand what happened. What happened?
All right, and last question here. Dylan?
Hey there, Yaroslav. Appreciate you making some time. I'm just kind of curious, because obviously you have a very decorated combat sambo background, multiple world titles on the mantle. How much would a Bellator MMA championship mean in the context of just all the championships you've garnered?
Что для тебя значит чемпионство в Беллаторе по сравнению с другими чемпионствами, которые...
Oh man, it's big level, because sambo, yeah, it's good, but it's an amateur sports. This professional big level, I have fight with legend man. It's unbelievable.
All right, thank you both for the time today, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
The recording has stopped.
And just another reminder, if you have a question for Demarques, please press the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, we are now being joined by Demarques Jackson. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Michael, your line is now live.
Hey, Demarques, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Perfect, man. I wanted to ask you, you are facing Mark Lemminger this time. What do you and your corner plan to do to get back on the winning track?
Keep my hands up and definitely try to avoid the takedowns, keep moving on the feet and hit and don't get hit.
And how important is this fight for you and your career?
Every fight's important for me in my career, and this one's, I want to get a win, under the Bellator banner as a contracted fighter. First time I fought from Bellator, I wasn't a contracted fighter. I just fought on the undercard, and I didn't get a win. So this will mean a lot, to get a win as a contracted fighter, and also being on Showtime, back from the pandemic, first fight on the main card, like that's kind of big idea, pretty big. It'll be really, really, good for my career to get a win and, and make a statement.
Awesome, brother. Wishing you good luck for Friday.
I appreciate it.
Mike?
Hey, I was just curious, why such a quick turnaround for you? And then if you could, I asked your teammate this as well, if you could just kind of speak on what your team down at Sanford has meant to you and your career, but more importantly, like why such a quick turnaround? I know you talked about the importance of getting a win under the Bellator banner, but why such a quick turnaround?
I don't really see this as a quick turnaround. I have a guy that's gonna fight 3 times in 3 months at the gym, So for me, this is not a quick turnaround, especially if you look at last year, what happened, I only fought once. So I took 1 week off from after my last fight. I took 1 week off. Then I got back to training in the gym, and I went, corner some people over the weekend. But other than that, I've been in the gym training since my last fight, a week after my last fight. So if you're in the gym training, you want to fight. So that's why I'm here.
So Demarques, this is your third fight with Bellator, second over here at Mohegan in the fight sphere. You've obviously experienced what it's like to fight without fans here. Are you excited to have the fans back?
I got my family from home. They're coming up. I have some friends coming up. So I'm super, super excited, to have the fans back here. And I'm really looking forward to hearing them cheer and put on a show for them.
Jim?
Thank you. Tell about being a part of Sanford MMA, the training there, how you've progressed, and also about the kickboxing training that you teach at Hard Knocks 365.
Sanford, it's been a blessing. I've been with Henry and Greg. I started off with them, Henry, Greg, Dr. Peacock, back when we was back at Black Zillions. So this was 2016. So I pretty much gave my life in their hands. I pretty much gonna follow them from gym to gym. And now we're at Sanford MMA, and we have a lot of good guys coming in now. A lot of hungry younger guys is coming up. So for me, being there so long, I get re-inspired every time we get some new guys come in the gym, and they're really, really good and talented. So for me, it's constant. I have to evolve if I want to keep up. So it's a really, really good place for me there.
And also about the training, that you're training others too.
Oh yeah. I teach kickboxing. I kind of took some time off once I got signed to Bellator, but I used to teach kickboxing down at Hard Knocks. Trying to give back. Henry gave me so much, and gave me so much knowledge in kickboxing, Dutch kickboxing. I try to just give back to, people that want to fight amateur, or sometimes, pro guys, amateurs, or even people that just want to, train for fun. I always try to give back.
All the best on Friday. Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Michelle?
Hey, how you doing, Demarques? This is Michelle from LMD Magazine.
Oh, thank you.
And I got a quick question. What is the best thing about being a Bellator MMA fighter?
The best thing about being a Bellator MMA fighter. I think this right here. No uniforms. You get to wear what you want. You get to have your sponsors on your banner. I think that means a lot to a lot of fighters. That extra income. That extra income can get them through training camp, get them through, get them through the year. The extra income coming in. So I think that's, for me, that's why I'm really, really, happy to be part of the Bellator team.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, and good luck on Friday, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The recording has stopped.
Next up is Aaron Pico.
This meeting is being recorded.
We are now being joined by Aaron Pico. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Michael, your line is now live.
Hey, Aaron, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Everything good here, man. Thank you for your time. I wanted to ask, you've been fighting on Bellator all your career. What motivates you to, maintain your loyalty to this company?
Well, for me, I've been with the company since I just turned 18. I've been with them a long time since I've been a young kid. So everybody here feels like family. Everybody treats me well. I know all the staff, and everybody's been good to me. So I love everybody here.
Awesome, man. Thank you, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Andrew?
Hey, Aaron, Blue Collar Media Group, Andrew speaking here, man. You've had some major highlight reel knockouts. And I know that a lot of people probably think those heavy hands are something that you've got. Is there one part of your game that you would say is completely underrated that gets slept on?
I think a lot of people don't they always say, oh, why don't you use wrestling a lot? And if you look at my last 3 fights, I have used my wrestling. But that's just, for me, I just have so much power in my hands. If I land one shot, it could put you to sleep. But I think a lot of people underestimate my grappling. My grappling is actually very, very good, and it's an area I spend a lot of time in training. I know a lot of people see me post a lot about striking, but I'm in the gym doing jiu-jitsu and a lot. So I think that's one area I think a lot of people underestimate me.
Santiago?
Hi, Aaron. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time. Always a pleasure talking to you.
No worries. How's everything?
Everything is going great. Thank you so much. So how much better is everything for you now since that you signed with Dominance MMA and Ali Abdelaziz? I mean, there's no more rushing anything, right, Aaron? Everything is being planned precisely.
I feel good. I really love Ali. I love being a part of the team. Dominance. Ali is a really, really good manager. Honestly, I don't think there's anybody better than him. It's a very, very good team over there. of course, Ali is the manager, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes that probably never are seen on camera, that do a lot of behind the scenes work, that are working their butts off. So it's definitely an army over there, and I'm very happy to be a part of it.
In your last fight against John De Jesus, you kind of drained your opponent in the first round with some heavy wrestling and ground and pound. And then in the second, when your opponent lost a lot of his energy, you put him away with a sensational strike. I mean, that calmness and the patience, is that all there right now because of the amazing team that you have behind you who really know how to game plan?
Yeah, I think I am a way better fighter than I was the last fight. It's been 7 months since I've stepped in the cage. So I'm looking forward to putting on a great performance Friday night. But yeah, I just got to go in there and use my skills and be a warrior. And God willing, it's going to be a good night for our team.
Ed?
Hey, Aaron. Ed Carbajal for MMAnews.com. I'm just wondering, I mean, you seem to be in a winning stride right now. In the past, you've kind of mentioned the competitive fire in your belly has sometimes been good, sometimes it's been bad. So I just wanted to know where you at as far evolving as a mixed martial artist and stuff like that. I mean, I remember when you picked up one of your recent wins, you were like you had to almost calm yourself down because of the adrenaline rush that you got. So I just want to know where you were mentally now with getting into the use of stride of the fight camps.
Yeah, I feel good. I'm at a really good place mentally and physically. One thing I always try to keep in mind, not too high, not too low, just right in the middle. A lot of work has been put in this camp, just like all the previous ones. But I'm at a good place, like I said, mentally and physically. I'm excited to go in there and do my job. But yeah, I feel good. I'm happy. My weight is good. Camp went really, really well. I'm happy. So that's ultimately what you want.
Cool. Thank you.
Mike?
Aaron, first and foremost, congrats on the future opportunity becoming a father. I just want to ask, when early on in your career, when you had those couple step backs, a lot of fighters may shy away from having those tough conversations and really getting together with their coaches and their team. And obviously, you have some of the best there at Jackson Wink. I'm curious, what did those moments when things weren't going perfect for you, what did that do for you as you're now on this current win streak?
Well, I really had to dig deep mentally. I mean, of course, it's not easy in this fight game. You're only as good as your last fight. So sometimes, coming off losses for me back to back was very, very difficult. But the coaches and my team around me were like, "Man, you're going to be one of the best fighters on this planet. Just it's going to take some time. You have a lot to learn, but that's why you're here. So let's put in the work." And I really do. I'm in the gym 2-3 times a day. If you want to be good at anything, if you want to be the best, it requires a lot of work. So yeah, there's nothing to it. I'm not really like a motivational speaker on this or get when during tough times this and that. I'm not like that. I have one simple rule: pick yourself up, get back in the gym, and carry on.
Steve?
Hey Aaron, it's Steve from MMA Lowdown. So you're on a 3-fight win streak, all won in a dominant fashion. Now, I imagined your next fight to be higher in the division, perhaps avenging that loss against Adam Boric. But you're now fighting you're now a number 6, fighting an unranked opponent. How high is your motivation?
My motivation is always high. I mean, for me, I feel like every fight is a world championship fight. There's obviously a lot of pressure on me. This guy has nothing to lose, so that excites me. And what excites me the most is going in there and using the new tools that I've learned to use with the coaches for the last 7 months since my last fight. So the motivation is always there. Anytime I get to go and have the opportunity to beat somebody up, it motivates me and it excites me. So yeah, no lack of motivation there. I don't care if it's a ranked opponent or a guy off the street. As soon as I step in the cage, I'm fighting for my paycheck. So yeah, that excites me the most, taking home all my money.
Abraham?
Hey, Aaron, this is Abraham from the Fight League Report. I want to know, what has been your biggest takeaway so far in MMA from the mental aspect and also the aspect in competing a couple times a year and so far in your young career?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more time? I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. I just wanted to know, what has been your biggest takeaway so far in your young career mentally, since you have mentioned how you have evolved mentally, but also the competition aspect of MMA?
Yeah, that is a good question. To be honest with you, I haven't really put too much thought into it. But if I had to say one thing, it's just stay the course. As simple as that. Stay the course. Things are going to happen, and as long as you're doing the work and you can be true to yourself. When you go to practice outside the gym, if you're doing everything right, there should be really no mental glitches because you've done everything you possibly could to prepare yourself as an athlete, as a professional, and showing up to the fight fight week should be one of the best weeks of your life because you finally get to show what you've been working on for the past 8-12 weeks. So, as far as answering that question mentally, yeah, I don't really have a clear answer. Sorry.
All right, we'll take one or two more. Siraj?
Hey, Aaron, you've been talking a lot about your coaching staff here. So I actually wanted to go a little deeper. I feel like Six Gun is really taking a liking to you and has spent a lot of time with you, especially during the pandemic. So I just really wanted you kind of go into detail about that relationship because your striking is just on another level now. So what's he done for you?
Yeah, Coach Gibson and I clicked very, very well. I think we just have one of those relationships where it's just we just bonded the first time we hit pads. You hear a lot of stories with, for example, Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach. First time they hit pads, it was basically love at first sight, and I think that's the way that's how it is with Coach Gibson. To me, he's my older brother, and I respect him a lot. I'm very thankful for everything and all the time he puts in. Yeah, he just puts in a lot of time. We work a lot together 4 or 5 times a week, and it's just a good bond we have. So I'm very, very thankful, and I thank God every day that I met him.
Last one, Jeff.
Jeff Brantley, the Man in the Cage podcast. Aaron, you keep talking about this training camp that you had, how great you feel about it. Is there one part of your game you're more excited to show off here? I mean, obviously you don't want to give too much away to your opponent, but is there one part of your game you're most looking forward to showing off in this fight that you've improved upon?
No, not really. There's not one thing that Greg doesn't like me to do is to say, man, I want to do this in the fight. I want to do that. Nah, we don't really think that way. We have a sense of direction of where we want the fight to go and what we want to do, but kind of want to let the fight unfold and figure out what and figure out the fight as it comes. That's something that I don't like. That Greg doesn't want me putting pressure on myself, saying, hey, I have to do this, I have to do that. I'm just going to let the fight come. I know where my skill sets are. And to be honest with you, I'm good everywhere. Anywhere the fight goes, I feel comfortable. Shit, even off my back, I'm starting to feel very, very comfortable, and I can land a lot of good submissions from my back. So I'm confident anywhere the fight goes.
Appreciate the time, Aaron. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
The recording has stopped.
Next up is Paul Daley. If you have a question, please press the raise hand button.
This meeting is being recorded.
We are now being joined by Paul Daley. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Ed, your line is now live.
Hello, Mr. Daley. Ed Carbajal with MMAnews.com. Just one question from me. How do you, what's your assessment on your opponent here? He picked up a few wins, picked up a lot of steam, given your experience versus a guy that, his record is like a fraction of yours. I'm just wondering what your assessment is when you signed for this bout.
I've been matched with him before previously, so I wasn't aware before I was matched with him previously, but I'm quite I know about Jason Jackson, and he's a great guy, a good fighter, well-rounded, comes from a good team, nice clean straight punches. Athletic, he's a decent fighter, and he's very much improved. That's my assessment of Jason Jackson.
But I'm just curious because he's upset. Like the win streak he's picked up they're almost all like upsets. So I'm wondering if there's any concern on your part.
Not at all, because none of the guys have been anywhere near my ability or my experience at a high level. There's some good wins for the current crop of Bellator fighters and the up and comers, but Ben Henderson, he's only fought up and comers, if I'm correct. He's not fought a guy like me before, and even in those fights, he's winning by decisions and split decisions. And I take nothing away from him in those results and how he's won the fights, because he's won the fights, but he hasn't fought a guy like me.
Maria.
Hi, Paul. Maria Morales with Throwing Bows podcast. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
So just two quick ones from me. First and foremost, I think a lot of folks were surprised when you announced initially that you would be retiring, and then more so surprised when it was announced that you were coming out of retirement to face Jackson. Is this a permanent move? Will this be your last fight? Can we look forward to seeing you in the cage again, regardless of the result?
I think you'll see me again. I will defend the 175-pound belt on Friday. I will beat Jason Jackson, and then I'm going to move forward, and we'll see what Bellator has to offer me. The fact that I'm in here so quickly did help with the decision to continue in the sport of mixed martial arts. I'm happy I made the decision, because my ability and where I'm at, as far as my mental game and in my preparations and everything I'm just too good to quit right now.
Absolutely. And then the last one for me, with that decision, and obviously stating that we'll likely see you again, you're in the mix, right? You're in the top 10. There's a lot going on in this division right now. How or what would entice you to truly stick around and try to make a run for the belt?
Like I said, I'm already the champion. I'm the 175-pound champion. I'm defending my belt Friday. I'm just waiting for Scott to make me up a belt, and then I'll be collecting that. But the welterweight division looks interesting. I don't pay attention too much to anybody below Douglas Lima. He's the benchmark. he is, he's the king of the division, and so he should be as one hell of a fighter, an extremely dangerous fighter. But yeah, as far as the welterweights, if I was looking at a fight, it would be for the title. Yeah.
Steve?
Hi, Paul. It's Steve from MMA Lowdown. So you're fighting a tough opponent in Jason Jackson. Now, we know he's in a good spot in the rankings at 170, and yourself at 175 pounds are pretty comfy. At this stage in your career, a win over Jackson could have gotten you closer to the belt. Are you looking to chase the title in the future, and someone you might consider post-fight, or is it all about exciting fights at this stage?
Well, like I said, I'm already the 175 pound champion. I'll be defending my belt Friday, and moving forward, if I drop back down and fight for the 170 belt, I think is deserving. I will knock Jason Jackson out on Friday, and we'll see what is laid ahead as far as what Bellator want to do with me. Whether they send me for a title dropping down in weight class, or I just reign for the duration of my contract as a 175 pound champion. We'll see.
It's a pleasure. Best of luck.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Mills?
Hey, how's it going? This is MMA Locker Room, part of Puff Sports Radio. I just want to say you're one of the best MMA strikers of all time. You fought the who's who in every single organization. But I actually want to see what's in your mind when you're walking out to that locker room, into that octagon. Like, are you ready to go out there and kill? Are you cool, calm, collective? Like, take us in the mind of Paul Daley.
Well, for the most part, you don't want to be in the mind of Paul Daley because just shit's scary in there. But pre-fight, it's what I love to do. This is, I'm detached emotionally. No matter what you see me portray pre-fight, I just love to do this. I'm on autopilot. I'm relaxed. I'm taking everything in. The last fight with no audience is what it's like in my head anyway. It didn't feel any different than a normal fight. I hear nothing but my corner, and I'm just locked in a cage with another guy that wants to do me harm. That is it. That is my mindset. I'm just 100% relaxed and ready to go.
Got it. And I got one more question. I'm a betting man myself, and I already got a play on you as the underdog on air. But if there's one other fighter that you think's going to win on the card that I should parlay him with, who would you go with?
Probably Aiden Lee. He's fighting a tough guy in Aaron Pico, but Aiden Lee is super sharp with those hands and those kicks and those knees. He's long. He's extremely athletic, in great shape, and I'd probably go with Aiden Lee for the upset.
Michael?
Hey, Paul. As mentioned before in this call, you were considering retirement alternative in your career. The fighter to be inside the MMA industry.
We had some issues there with your question. I don't know if you're able to type it up on screen. I didn't get all of it, but I heard it was something to do with retirement. And I'm just ready to fight on Friday. That is it. I'm ready to fight Friday, ready to entertain, ready to get the win. Take care of this guy. And
Andrew?
Hey, Paul, Andrew from Blue Collar Media Group. First and foremost, you're one of my favorite fighters, man. So this is pretty cool. First and foremost, I'm thankful you didn't retire because you're an explosive, amazing fighter. Now, you're talking about being the 175 champ, which, yeah, the title's definitely yours, my man. But do you see anything Jason Jackson brings to you that you could see maybe being a problem?
He's good. I don't see any problems. Because the only problems that alarm me are dangerous problems. And I don't think he's a dangerous fighter. I think he's a very good fighter. He does everything well. He's in great shape. He does have a fighter's heart, throws great straight punches, nice kicks, very athletic. But that is it. You gotta be dangerous. I don't see him as being dangerous.
Mike?
Hey, Paul, I know everyone's asking about the retirement. I don't want to ask about the retirement. I want to ask about, to you, Paul Daley, what it means to be a fighter at your age at this point in your career to continue to add things that you want to check off your resume, things you want to continue to accomplish, and not talk about retirement anymore?
To be fair, I don't really the way I'm training, the way I'm performing. I forget my age. It's not until it comes up on the tail of the tape, like I'm like, shit, I'm fucking old. But I forget my age. The only motivation for me is to keep winning. I'm too good to quit. And just on the side of that is just collecting the paychecks and taking care of my family, which obviously is an important part of being a professional athlete.
Last one here, Dylan.
Hey there, Paul. Appreciate you making the time.
No problem.
I'm just curious because, I mean, you're obviously preparing for defending your 175-pound championship here, but with Bellator's dynamic with Showtime here, I'm kind of curious, like, could we, see Paul Daley cross over into the world of boxing? I feel like if people were to draft up a list of MMA fighters to do that, you would have pretty high prominence there.
I would love to box. Initially, probably against another MMA fighter who thinks that they can box because, boxing is completely different. I said there's preparing for an MMA fight and boxing, and there's boxing. I've trained and sparred with WBC champions, undefeated up-and-comers, Commonwealth champions throughout my career, and boxing's different. But I'd love to box. I think I'm capable of holding my own against a decent level of boxing opponent, but give me a little warm-up fight first.
Appreciate the time, Paul. Good luck on Friday. Cheers.
The recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
We are now being joined by Douglas Lima. Once again, we'll begin with a few questions from our media. Gabriel, your line is now live.
Hello, Douglas. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Douglas. Two questions. The first one, you've experienced no fans. You've experienced big fights in Bellator. How excited are you to have the fans back for this one on Friday?
Yeah, very, very excited about that. I fought without the crowd last time. It was not too bad, not as bad as I thought, but it's always good when you have people cheering, people making noise. It definitely helps, the fighters with the performance, helps you push harder. So it's good. It's very good to have the fans back for sure.
My second question, obviously Yaroslav is on a great run, but maybe not too many people know about him compared to some of the other guys in Bellator. We know what you bring to the table. So how do you personally make sure you stay motivated and you take this guy seriously when other people might want to talk to you about other fighters in the division?
Man, it's like you look at the guy's record and you can tell, you got to take this guy serious, I'm the champion, what I mean? I fight anybody they give me. And I know, Amosov is a dangerous guy, he's a dangerous opponent. He's been beating everybody, they feed him. And his game, he's ready for this. Even though a lot of people don't know about him, I do, I've watched his fight, I watched his come up here in Bellator. And I know how serious of an opponent he is, coming off of a great camp, of American Top Team. the same team that I represent, he's training with killers. He's getting better. He's improving every time. So you gotta give respect, to guys like that. His game, he's not just, giving his title shot for nothing. He's earned it, and can't wait, to lock horns with him Friday night.
Rodrigo?
Oi, Douglas. Tudo bem, Douglas?
E aí, cara, tranquilo?
Tudo bem. Douglas, duas perguntinhas também, seguindo aqui o protocolo. Você, como campeão, vai enfrentar agora o Amosov, que é um lutador que está invicto. Você mesmo já falou um pouco sobre ele, inclusive elogiou. Queria saber de você como que é para você lidar com essa ameaça. Você que é um lutador que já enfrentou todos os tipos de adversário durante sua carreira, como é que é lidar com esse em específico?
Mas para mim é a mesma coisa, né? Tipo, mais um cara duro que eu vou lutar, né? Um cara que nunca perdeu, ele tá vindo um monte de vitória, né? Nunca perdeu. Então é um cara perigoso, né? Um cara que treina num time que é muito forte, né? American Top Team, que é o mesmo time que eu represento. Eu sei que é um cara duro, então eu tenho que estar motivado. Acho que não existe desculpa para um lutador não ter motivação, entendeu? Para mim, isso é muito importante, porque, sem motivação, o que você está fazendo aqui, então, né? Vai arrumar outro trabalho. Então, motivação eu sempre vou ter. Se eu não tiver mais essa motivação, eu me aposento. Então, eu sei que o cara é um cara perigoso, é um cara duro. Então, eu dei meu melhor nos treinos, fiz tudo que eu pude fazer. Poxa, não vejo a hora de lutar sexta-feira, né? Tem que estar pronto.
And Rodrigo, Rodrigo, would you mind asking that question in English for us?
What? Sorry?
Would you mind also asking that question in English for us?
Okay, I can translate. Douglas, and I need you to talk about your next fight with Michael Page. I really want you to know. I want you to talk about your possible next fight with Michael Page, please.
English or Portuguese? In English. Is that Brazilian media or it's not Brazilian? Say it in English. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if he's the next in line, for the title shot. I haven't heard anything. I never got offered that fight. But I'm not even thinking about that now. If it's him, it's him. If it's not, because he's still got work to do. He's got to fight the guys that'll get him to the title. But I'm not worried about him, and I'm not thinking about the next guy, because right now I got a big challenge ahead of me. I got to take care of business here first, and then I sit down with Coker, my manager, and we decide who's the next guy. But as of right now, I'm not sure if it's going to be him.
Mills?
How's it going, Douglas? This is MMA Locker Room here, part of Pub Sports Radio. I got two questions for you. All right, so I noticed nowadays they got a little fight bonus in another organization. Does Bellator have anything like that going on? Because you have a lot of fights that you finish that doesn't go to the decision.
Yeah, I wish. I'm going to have to talk to the boss about that. But yeah, Bellator, we don't have bonuses. That's something that we got to discuss with the boss. At least a knockout or submission bonus would be really nice. But so far we don't have it yet. But that's a great question, and I'm going to sit down with him next time I see him.
Steve?
Hi, Douglas. It's Steve at MMA Lowdown. So you fought and beaten many greats of the sport. And while Amosov may be less known than your previous opponents, he does bring a greater threat to you based on his record, and with you being his biggest threat. So I'm just curious to know, during your preparation, have you been able to identify any holes in Amosov's game that can be capitalized on by someone with your abilities?
I mean, we just study everything that he's good at. I got a great team behind me. My coach is very good about stuff like that, studying the opponent, so we just prepare for the best of him, prepare for the best Amosov ever, for the best grappler, for the best wrestler, best striker. So it's not really too much about what he does. It's just how I'm gonna react to it, how I'm gonna, stop whatever he's good at. As far as weakness, we'll find it. We'll find it in the fight. It's not something that we can discuss, before the fight. But I feel confident. I feel ready. It's like I said, he's not known to many people. You know what I mean? But his game, his game. He's here for a reason. And, he definitely deserves the shot, but it's my time. It's my time. I feel confident. Whatever he brings to the table, we'll be sure to stop it and come out, with another victory.
Mike? Mike, go ahead.
Douglas, I'm just curious. You just paid a lot of respect to your opponent. Obviously, you've been in many high-profile fights. A lot of people putting focus on that undefeated record of his. What gets you up for this fight? Is it adding to your legacy? Is it showing just your true greatness? What is it for you?
Oh, man, it's like I'm the champion. I got to defend the belt. I always give my opponents, the respect, because just stepping there, with a champion, stepping there in the cage, you deserve respect. I'm one of those guys. But, his game, man, he's undefeated. He's a hungry guy that's after what I have, which is the belt. He wants to be the champion. So I gotta be on top of my game. You know what I mean? I can't, take no shortcuts. I train really hard for this fight. I'm super ready. It's been a hard camp. You know what I mean? I gotta go back to 170. Cutting the weight. So I had to make sure I was on top of my game, you know what I mean? And work really hard for this, Definitely want to give my best performance, Friday night, come back, and come back with a victory. So pumped about it, and I'll be ready.
Ed?
Hey, Douglas, Ed Carbajal with MMAnews.com. I'm just curious. I mean, you just had to field a couple of questions. I mean, you just talked about your opponent on Friday, very game, undefeated, very tough fighter. Yet you keep having to field questions about Michael Page, and I mean, even I saw you had mentioned even Logan Paul on something else, another interview you did. I'm just wondering, does that distract at all from the fight in front of you mentally, or if anything, does it frustrate you when you're not being when the fight in front of you right now is not being addressed?
No, for sure. I mean, Page is, he's good in the media. People like him. He's a media guy. So of course people are gonna ask, because that's the fight that he asks for every time. But no, my focus right now is on Amosov. You know what I mean? I don't know who the next will be. Can't put stuff ahead of other stuff. I got to take care of business here first, and then we talk about the next opponent. I'm not sure who it is. If it's him, fine. If it's not, fine. I got to defend my belt. I got to stay busy. I want to do 2 more fights this year after this. God willing, everything goes good, no injuries. I want to get right back to it. But no, I focus on what's ahead of me. You know what I mean? Him, it's not even on my mind right now. It's a guy that I finished in 2 rounds. I'm not worried about anything. I'm just focused, focus my training completely on Amosov, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to beat this fight and then move on to the next.
Michael?
Hey, Douglas, how are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
Everything good here, sir. Thank you very much for your time. You are facing one of your biggest challenges so far, 25-0. How do you prepare for someone like Yaroslav?
Mm-hmm. He's I have 40 professional fights now. I fought great wrestlers, fought great strikers, great jiu-jitsu guys. So I've been familiar with every fighters, over there. And he's just another tough guy, you know what I mean? Nothing new to me. He's good. He's good everywhere. He's a good wrestler, good striker. He's good on the ground. So, just prepare like I do for every fight. Of course, every fighter has their strong points, and I got ready, man. I got ready. I took care of my training camp. I focused. I trained really hard for this, and I feel amazing. I feel good. I feel ready to deliver another spectacular finish, comes Friday night.
All right, we'll take a couple more here. Santiago?
Hi, Douglas. Greetings from Amsterdam, and thank you for the time. Is your brother already prepping your food for after the weighing? And just in general, how important is it for you to have Diego there with you on fight? I mean, he is always in your corner.
Yes, sir. He's always here with me. Yeah, he's a great cook, really good cook. And I can't wait. I can't wait for tomorrow morning. When I'm in the scale, he's over there, cooking for me, cooking that good food. And he just got here today. He's got his fight coming up next week. We did this training camp together, helping each other. The great bond that we have, in the gym. He's my best training partner that I have. And it's important. It's very important to have family always around you. You know what I mean? We're close, like I said, and it feels good. And I'm going to get this victory. And Tuesday, I fly with him to go to his fight, and he'll get his victory there too. So it's a great month for both of us. We're busy, we're working, and can't wait, can't wait to see what happens.
Siraj?
Thank you. Nice to talk to you, Douglas. I did want to talk to you, but we just spoke to Paul Daley, and he did mention that he already feels like the welterweight champion, and we're coming up to the 5-year anniversary of your first fight together. So I'm not the kind of guy to, push that narrative looking past your current opponent, but such a legendary duo in Bellator folklore. I just want to know your thoughts on that comment. And, do you see yourself maybe fighting him again in the future?
Honestly, I haven't thought about it, but Daley, man, Daley's always game. He's always dangerous. But his last few fights, he's been at 175. He said it before too that he doesn't know if he can make 170 again. It's possible. It's possible for sure. I'm always here. I'm like I said, I'm the champion. I can't run from anybody. We already had this great fight 5 years ago. Wow, it's a long time already. Thought it was sooner than that. But yeah, if it happens, it happens. Of course, he's got my respect, his game, and no idea. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just fighting the next guy. I'm fighting who they put in front of me, and I'll be ready for anybody that steps in there with me.
Last one, Andrew.
Hey, Douglas. Good afternoon, man. You obviously just are coming off that loss to Gegard Mousasi. Did this teach you anything for this upcoming fight? And did you guys change anything up at camp at all?
Not in camp. I think on that fight, man, it was just myself. I just felt like I was just too comfortable being the champion already at 170. I thought moving up wouldn't do anything. If I lost the fight, I'm still the champion at 170. So the main thing, that I take away was just the hunger. I didn't have that hunger going into that fight. And I really needed that, especially against an opponent like Mousasi. I let everybody down. I let myself down. I was disappointed at myself, for not throwing, the performance that I should have. Even though his game, he can't take anything away from Mousasi. He's a killer in there. I respect the guy so much, but I definitely felt like I could have won that fight. I woke up a little too late, third round and on. It was just too late. I pushed the gas too late. You know what I mean? So it was a mistake that, it's my own fault. It's not nobody's fault but myself. Definitely learn from me. I'm hungry again, for this fight, back to 170. Training was super hard. The camp was super hard. So, yeah, I think just being hungry, that's what I missed, on that fight.